What's up, y'all? Before we start today's video, let's pop open a Diet Coke here, and that's a good sound. I've been looking forward to this caffeine all day, not gonna lie, but nothing like external really happened today. I just want to celebrate the fact that we're alive today, you know what I'm saying? And since we're alive, that means that God continues to have a plan for us, or whatever higher spiritual being you believe in has a plan for you, and He's not giving up on you. You know what I'm saying? And just always remember that. Always remember that you are loved, and that no matter what happens, every time you wake up, God's plan for you is not finished yet. And that's awesome. So let's go ahead. We'll start off with a Diet Coke. Kind of help me keep me up for this video. But just a reminder here before we start, all this stuff that I get here is from other people, from books, videos, podcasts. So if I say anything wrong, that's my bad. But, I've also seen this stuff act in my life. So that's why I kind of want to share this with y'all. So the main quote here is from Mark Twain here. So he says, the two most important days in your life are the day you were born and the day you find out why. I kind of want to break that quote down as we go on the video. But let's go ahead and start off here with what is purpose. There's a lot behind purpose, but I think the simplest way you can put it is that purpose is the reason you're here. Like, what's your why? Why do you do what you do? You can have this be your family, future family, whatever spiritual foundation you have, whoever you honor in that. Or it can just be to seek improvement in yourself because, like, why not? Just see how good you can get. But, something that is crazy is that many major world religions, they seek service to anything, like to God, to people, or just a higher principle in general, and that's a very important aspect of their beliefs, which I think is kind of crazy, because it aligns with what we inherently want to do. We are inclined to try to help others, just like, looking at our ancestors, like psychologically, we just want to help other people. And so I just think that it's really cool, and like for me, I serve Christ because that's what I'm here to do. I'm here to serve Him and to love others like He did, to try to live the best life that I can, that He walked and, kind of like showed us how to live life. You know what I'm saying? So here in Matthew 22:37-39, it says, love the Lord your God and your neighbor as yourself. In Ephesians 2:10, for we are God's handwork, created in Christ Jesus to do good works, which God prepared in advance for us to do. So both very powerful quotes there, really just about, serving other people and what I believe my purpose is on this planet. Next up, let's go on to what do you value. So finding what you value, I think, is very important because it can guide you to your purpose. You can value a lot of things like relationships, discipline, religion, or even just yourself sometimes. When these things you value, you won't turn against them. You know what I'm saying? That's how you know you truly value them. And that really solidifies your identity and who you are. Like, who are you and who do you fight for? What do you fight for? That can really help you with your purpose. And as you continue to do that, you can continue to find peace in, like, knowing, like, okay, this is who I am. You know what I'm saying? And I think for me personally, that happened a lot with me valuing, obviously, religion, but also, discipline in myself and my relationships with other people. You know what I'm saying? Like, when you can knit that and, like, keep it all real and be, like, honest with yourself, that's honestly how you find the most peace. And, you look at who the most peaceful people are is actually monks. You know what I'm saying? And why are they so peaceful? It's because they don't really let their emotions get to them too much. You know what I'm saying? They have mastered their minds in a way that they can just be like, just vibing. They're just joyful, which is awesome. That's kind of how we should try to aim to be. And so a quote here from Plato: we are twice armed if we fight with faith. And Confucius: to practice 5 things under all circumstances constitutes perfect virtue: gravity, generosity of soul, sincerity, earnestness, and kindness. So basically, what they're trying to instill in us there, these philosophers, is that if we have something that we believe in, like, we can get through it easier. You know what I'm saying? And we have a reason to get through it. And I think that that's something that's amazing. You know what I'm saying? Also, the next thing here on purpose is something that you get with is hope. You know what I'm saying? Like, through adversity. So you develop hope when you really have purpose, and it's kind of like your reason for living. You know what I'm saying? You can, like, see, like, what the future is for you, what you want to accomplish. You can work through those goals, like, daily, even if you don't want to do them, because you can see, like, the ultimate vision. You know what I mean? And you can move towards that with confidence and knowing, like, deep in your heart, that's set for you. And I gotta be honest with y'all, if you have something in your brain and it's going through, like, rotating, like, you can't get it out of your head and you just think about it unconsciously, I really truly do believe that that's something that, whatever spiritual being you believe in. So for me, it's God. If God puts that in my head, then that means that I can obtain it. You know what I'm saying? Like, I can work my butt off, and I have the potential to do this, because he wouldn't put something in your mind that you wouldn't be able to do. Like, God wouldn't do that. He loves you way too much. And it's just like, I don't know, it's super like calming to be like, yeah, like I have this thought in my head that's going over and over, and it just sounds so wonderful. Like, this life sounds amazing that I can achieve, you know what I'm saying? And I don't know, I think it's awesome that he just kind of like plants that seed in you, and you can just kind of achieve it, you know what I mean? So 2 quotes here. Romans 12:12, be joyful in hope, patient in affliction, faithful in prayer. Hebrews 10:23, let us hold unswervingly to the hope we profess, for he who promised is faithful. Once again, just kind of like, whenever you're in troubles, like for me, what I'll do is I'll pray. Romans 12:12 there, and you have hope, because in prayer, you know that God is he's going to give you either a no, he's going to give you a yes, do it, or it's going to be like, just wait. You know what I mean? And the waiting is obviously very hard, which is why it says to be patient in affliction. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's something that a lot of people, it's hard for them to do. But once again, when you go back on it and you're like, God put that in my heart, then it's like, okay, I can do this. You know what I'm saying? Because there's no reason why I wouldn't be able to do something that he put in me. Also, Hebrews 10:23 there, just really talking about he who is promised is faithful. Once again, he's not going to go back on something he puts in your heart. If it's there, it's there. You know what I mean? And on top of that, whenever you have your purpose, it's very easy to be gritful. That makes sense. And you can grow grit over time. Like, it's not like an ability that you're just born with and like you have this certain amount and that's it. No, you can have this trait, which is scientifically the best trait to measure, quote unquote, someone's ability to have success, or in my terms, what I like to call more is fulfillment. I think that that's better, because success in everyone's eyes is different. So someone who, I loved her book, Angela Duckworth. She's the author of Grit, which she said, enthusiasm is common, endurance is rare. Grit is passion and perseverance for very long-term goals. So whenever you have a very, very long-term goal and you do it with passion and you do it because you love to do it and you have a purpose behind it, you're going to have that grit. You know what I'm saying? Like, a lot of things seem enticing for like the first week. Like, let's say you want to start running, right? And like, you're like, okay, I'm going to start because like I'm going to be healthier, right? So you do it for the first week and it's like, okay, I'm like dead tired now. Like, I don't feel like doing this anymore. And then you stop. You know what I'm saying? Because like it's uncomfortable. But whenever you have that long-term vision of like, okay, instead of I'm going to start running to be healthier, let's think of it more like I'm going to start running to be healthier, which in turn will make me live longer. And that's kind of how you can transform those into long-term habits. And if you can form those long-term habits, that's what's going to keep you successful. Someone else here, Viktor E. Frankl, don't know if I'm saying that right, but I'm sure you guys have heard of this. Those who have a why to live can bear almost anyhow. Like, no matter what you face, you're going to get through it. And even if you don't know how you're going to, you know that you're just going to get through it. You know what I'm saying? And like, that's why I'm saying, like, going back on like, if God put something in your heart and you know that it's true for you, you don't know how you're going to do it sometimes. But at the end of the day, like, you're going to get through it. You're going to figure out a way. And that's something that's amazing. We all have that ability to figure it out. I don't know. The human brain, whenever you dive into it, it's so fascinating. Like, the amount of potential everyone on this earth has and how we're all so different, yet we're all the same. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's crazy. But everyone on this planet, you can do whatever you want. And I think really whenever you find that purpose and you push that purpose with like passion and perseverance, it's already set in stone. You've already done it. You know what I'm saying? And I think that's just the beauty of it. But, going back to purpose, obviously there are things that you do that are like not within your purpose, and, you just kind of chill out, and that's totally fine. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not going to lie. I like reality TV show. You know what I'm saying? Like, I haven't started watching Love Island, so don't leave any spoilers. Like, I've watched Love is Blind. I've watched like all those seasons, and like, that's not with my purpose at all. But like, it's something that I like to do to kind of get a little reset going. You know what I'm saying? And that's, once again, you need those resets. Kind of like we talked in the last video. God created the earth in 6 days, and on the 7th he took rest. So at the end of the day, taking that rest, it's very important. But what I want to end here with y'all is legacy. And I think that this is actually probably one of the most important points of this entire video. Whenever you guys start something, and I saw this in a podcast I listened to this in a podcast yesterday. Whenever you start something, try to ask yourself what review you want others to have of you and work your way backwards. For me, for example, this is my YouTube channel, right? And so what review would I want people to have? I would want people to say, like, I'm passionate about what I do. I'm energetic. I want to help others. I want to help serve other people, help people get on the right path and trajectory. And so I think that if you can do that with anything, you know what I'm saying? Like, and try to keep that, like, the same core of who you are as a person. I also want people to know that I'm disciplined with my videos, you know what I'm saying? And that I will upload consistently. So if you look at what I want people to think of for like my trading journey, for example, I want people to know that I'm a disciplined trader. I'm not going to trade based off of emotions. You know, if you look at my training, I want people to know I'm a disciplined trainer. I'm going to be in the gym every day, or I'm going to be recovering every day, like productively. So like if you can keep those all like in the same framework, I think that that's something that will build like who you are, your identity, what your legacy is. And at the end of the day, I think it'd be interesting. Like, I think if you really ask yourself, like, what would someone say at like my memorial service? This is what I listened to in the podcast. And it's like, you just want it to be all good things, you know? And you can control that. And that's the best part of it. You know what I'm saying? You can control what others perceive of you based off of how hard you work and what your intentions are, you know, and that's something that everyone has the ability to do. Before we end this video, I would like to thank God, obviously, for giving me this opportunity to share this knowledge with all, but I also would like to thank my editor, Nikola Pavic. We have been working together for, it's coming up on a year here in a little bit, but he's been my editor for my sports videos, and now we're doing this whole discipline thing. I'm very excited to do it with him, and he's just a great guy, you know what I'm saying? I'm definitely very blessed to have met him. You know, I think that he's probably one of the best editors I've ever met in my life. You know, he gets stuff in on time, and he's very good with his edits as well. So if you guys are looking out for an editor, definitely use him. I recommend him 100%. His prices are great, and yeah, I really do appreciate you, Nikola. All right, y'all. That's the end of this video. I will see you guys when I see you guys next.